Big Mike from Las Vegas. Do you suffer from adrenal fatigue, poor adrenal gland, like I do? I've suffered from weak adrenal glands for a very long time, and in training for the Ironman, I have to be extra careful that my adrenal glands are functioning correctly in order for me to know what kind of exercise I do. And my doctor turned me on to what's called the Raglan test. And in this test, it's a simple blood pressure test. I have a simple blood pressure monitor, a home model. And the first part of the test is I attach it to my arm and I sit up in a comfortable fashion, and then I test, as you see in the side video. And then I take that reading. The systolic number is the one we want to be cognizant of in this case. And so in my case, it was the number that I've indicated on the screen here. And then you test again by standing up. Immediately after you stand up, you test. And in my particular case, the systolic number dropped, which is a sign of adrenal fatigue. If it raises, the systolic number, the top number, raises anywhere from 6 to 10, you're in a safe range. However, if it raises more than 10, you probably got some adrenal fatigue. And then the final part is I lay down and do the test. And in that particular case, if my adrenals were good, if they had risen from sitting to standing, then from standing to laying down, they should go down. And in my case, it went up. And so I have a weak adrenal right now. I know I'm a little bit dehydrated, and this morning I did a pretty easy bike ride, and so that could cause some of that. But I want to read you some other symptoms of a weak adrenal gland, and then in subsequent videos I'll go over some ways to help self-heal that through nutrition, through the proper kind of exercise. And so this is out of Dr. Berg's book. He's a chiropractor who practices in weight loss, and it's called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. And so here's adrenal type symptoms. First, you have this pendulous abdomen. In other words, it's sagging and hanging, as you can see from the picture next to me. You have midsection weight. That's where my weight is always centered around. A buffalo hump, or a fat pad in the upper back, lower neck area. Now, I don't have that. Thinner legs and arms. That's me. I've lost muscle mass upstairs and downstairs, and I know it's in part because of my adrenal fatigue. Weakness, fatigue, you're lethargic, depression, sleepiness, insomnia. That's me. There's times where my mind just goes 100 miles an hour. And that's a blood sugar issue, which I'll get into in a subsequent video. You have difficulty getting out of bed in the morning. You have a need for mid-afternoon naps, nervousness, anxiety or worry, frequent feelings of stress, because the adrenal glands not only are functioning with physical stress, for mental, emotional stress also. You can't tolerate stress. You have thinning skin, acne or poor skin. You may have white or discolored patches on the skin. Reddish purple stretch marks on the stomach, thighs, buttocks, arms, and breast. Red cheeks, round or moon face, puffy face and eyes, dark circles around the eyes, double chin, facial hair, especially if you're a female, full eyebrows, receding hairline, deeper voice. Now, my voice has always been deep. I don't know if it's caused from the adrenal. Sparse hair on forearms and lower legs, atrophy of breast, tightness in chest or chest pains, high blood pressure, lax ligaments. In other words, you have weak ankles and knees, weak or brittle bones due to loss of calcium and protein. I'll cover that in the nutrition side in a subsequent video. Difficulty absorbing calcium. Needs coffee to wake up. I'll get into some of that too later. Salt, cheese, chocolate, and sugar cravings late afternoon and evening. Me, I love chocolate, and it seems like I want it in the evenings. I don't crave salt so much, but I do like crunchy things later in the evening. Inflammation or pain in joints, back, or neck. I've never suffered too much from that. Hill spurs. I did have hill spurs in a big way several years ago. Overreactive immune system, allergies and chemical sensitivities, autoimmune conditions, fibromyalgia, asthma, increased susceptibility to viruses, dehydrated, intracellular despite amounts of water drunk. I have to have quite a bit of water. In fact, most of my adrenal fatigue for me was solved by me just getting hydrated and drinking enough water, which increased the volume of blood I needed. And that, for me, almost without exception, gets rid of my adrenal fatigue. And I'm a little dehydrated, so I'm not surprised with my blood pressure test earlier. Fluid retention in between cells. Pitting edema, especially in ankles. That's the swelling of the ankles. Do you get out of breath when climbing stairs? Legs feel heavy, especially when exercising. Some days that's true with me. Moodiness and irritability, at times I get that way. Brain fog or dullness. Ringing in ears, which I have. I've had it for about 2 years now. And low sex drive. So these are all symptoms of a weak adrenal, and when your adrenals are weak, which means there's a lot of cortisol being expressed out of that gland, and that adrenal gland sits above, right on top of the kidney, your fat burning is going to drop substantially. And so in order to burn more fat, you have to get these adrenals healed. I hope this helped. Look forward to another episode. You take care. Bye now.